Back to school is busy enough. The last thing you need is shopping that makes it harder. Whether you're moving into a dorm, your first apartment, or just getting organized for the semester, Wayfair makes it easy to get everything you need in one place. Furniture, bedding, storage, decor, study essentials, all at prices you'll love, with fast shipping before move-in day. Get everything you need for back-to-school season. Shop Wayfair.com today.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
This week, here's how to help your neighbour after a recent breakup. When you notice that there's only been one car on the driveway recently, pop over and tell them you've noticed that they must be sleeping alone. Tell them it'd be a shame for something to happen to them at night now that they don't have anyone to protect them. You know, at night time and early morning. Emphasise the early morning part and advise that they get an alarm fitted and maybe a stronger door because, you know, sometimes it's just enough to put people off. And then stare at them. Start taking flattering photos of them and set up a website or a little Reddit sub that clearly idolises them. Don't make it perverted or anything like that. Just post the photos and document what they were doing at that moment and explain in great detail why you think it's great. When you feel like it's worth the time, you know, of looking through all these little photos and maybe even little video snips, send them a little link to it. Keep an eye on the windows at night time and when they close the curtains, you know, and start timing your masturbation routine to their opening and closing of the curtains. Obviously, you know, make sure they're over the age of, let's say, at least 25 so that you don't freak them out around. And ask them before you start to find out their age, obviously. You'll find they're probably desperate for someone to be vulnerable to as well, and in return, you can boost their confidence by letting them know that you find them attractive in the form of your lonely interpretive one-arm dance. Contact some funeral parlours and ask them if you can get the used flowers cheaper after the cremations and start sending them to your neighbour, or to save even more money, just go and collect some and leave them on the doorstep and around the garden. Find out the names of all your other neighbours, or at least a believable percentage of neighbours on your street. Then buy yourself a few phones with multiple SIM card slots and make a corresponding amount of WhatsApp accounts. Then make a group chat called something along the lines of the Best Street Boys, or a different name, you know, something punny, something fun. It doesn't really matter, but it'll make it more sort of believable if it's cheesier. And then use all these accounts to slowly talk to yourself over a few weeks to get a rhythm going and get into it and get a real feel for it. Then slip a card into the recently made single neighbour's house, or, you know, if you're feeling brave, tell them face to face and urge them to join, because, you know, we have a bit of a laugh in there and it's like Neighbourhood Watch but without all the weirdos. Then you can talk to them, and the best part is when it seems like you're offline, you can occasionally just big yourself up, you know, oh, I like the way that's, you know, the guy at 24 looks after his hedges and that. It's so nice when he comes and cuts mine. He probably won't mind cutting yours as well. You know, little bits like that. Just make sure you do actually cut the hedges or do the things that they're talking about. Don't do it too much because it's going to seem really weird, and maybe big up a couple other people, but in ways where they're not thinking, oh, isn't that good? Little bits, but bigger for you. You don't want it to come across as these neighbours worship you, as it'll be obvious that something's a bit fishy about the whole setup. It might also be an idea to make a little group chat for yourself and all the other neighbours. Then, using an extra SIM card, make a fake profile for the neighbour across the way that's now single and pretend to be them in the group chat so that nobody suspects anything if they do talk to each other about it or reference something. And for that, you're probably going to want to emulate the chat that's got all the neighbours in it with the neighbour you like. Just every now and then maybe intersperse some nice things about yourself in there, you know, every now and then, just to keep her thinking about you or keep him thinking about you, you know. Find out when the birthday is and then get some old bed sheets, or, you know, push the boat out, get some new bed sheets. You're showing off. And then write happy birthday to, and then, you know, obviously your neighbour's name on there, and pop it on a nearby junction that they'll use on the way to work so that they know they've not been forgotten about. Knock on the door and say, hello. I know that people, you normally have to introduce yourself, don't you, to a neighbour if you're a sex offender. But, oh, I'm not. I just thought I'd come and introduce myself. Hello. If you're the same gender as your neighbour and you're into a bit of that, and their previous partner had the opposite genitals to them, then go and say it's always hard to replace the man or a woman. You know, obviously say the applicable term. It's always hard to replace the person that, you know, that you've lost. But why replace them, eh? why not have something, a bit different? Make sure you always go for the, use a nice little line there, say something like, yeah, sure, I know you always go for the sausage supper, but why not try the fish? Or, vice versa, obviously dependent on who you're talking about. I guess it also works if they were in a homosexual relationship and you'd be implying them start a heterosexual relationship with you as well. Let down a load of car tyres on your street in the night and then slip a note through their door to say that you saw some kids let the wheel down, but come and knock on in the morning, I've got a pump. Now, you've got a little bit of an in with them, and you also get to see what it's like when they're a bit stressed, which is a thing that couples don't really learn about each other till it's too late. Maybe you don't fancy the person though, none of this has to be sexual, maybe you just want to make them feel good. Now, if you've got some spare money, order some flowers and stuff to their house with little notes that say, I'm sorry, and I'm not looking to get back with you, I just know what I've lost. Things like that, all the things that people want to hear. And that's the end of this week's Here's How.
Thanks for listening, man. If you enjoyed the show, you should probably go and try Truth Seeking. That's TROOF, Seeking, as in like SEEKING, not like a fucking type of helicopter. But it's me and Jimmy Budd, a comedian from the UK, from England, like me. Don't know why I'm saying it like that. Either way, though, go and fucking have a listen. You can find one or two in the feed for this. There's the Crop Duster, but there's should be by the point you're listening to this, at least 15 episodes going out for Truth Seeking. So you might enjoy that, mate, and fucking leave a review on here and that. Leave a comment if you've watched it on YouTube. And if you do have YouTube as well, you can actually watch some of these. You can have them playing on a loop with my cartoon playing on a loop whilst you listen to 4 or 5 episodes of it. So, maybe throw that on at night time or something. Because that might help as well, because that might mean I can eventually monetize my YouTube. Anyway, fucking thanks for listening, man. I'll see you in a bit.